What do we think of as Canadians to identify? We think of the maple tree. If not the maple tree, the maple leaf, the maple syrup. It's just so part of our whole heritage. I'm Ken Jewett. I'm the founder of Maple Leaves Forever. I was born in Toronto, Ontario. Lived in Toronto all my life until I got a place in the country. Maple Leaves Forever believed that the maple tree was endangered because so many cultivars and invasive trees are being planted. Our native maples were disappearing from the landscape of rural Ontario. I saw this happening and made a pledge to try to stop this. In the late 19th century, farmers planted roadsides and laneways with maples dug from their woodlots in return for government incentive. This gave rise to a legacy of lines of maples and other hardwoods bordering rural roads and dividing farm fields. Many of these trees have died. We're working on replacing them with native Canadian maples. Canada has been good to me and my family. As a thank you, I want to reintroduce and restore the native Canadian maple tree to its rightful place on Canada's rural landscape. The maple leaf is Canada's national and arboreal symbol. As such, we should encourage the planting of native maples in this country as a symbol of national pride and identity. 7 years ago, we went down to inquire what was happening in the city of Ottawa. The National Capital Commission, by their own admission, probably hadn't planted any native maples in the last 20 years. They're planting invasive trees and trees they've imported from Oregon. So we said, don't you feel badly about that? And yeah, we do. You think it would be just natural. It's our arboreal emblem. It's like motherhood. Why couldn't they make the commitment that a maple tree is going to be planted in our nation's capital to be a native Canadian maple tree? Well, for 7 years we worked on it with no success. Placed a half-page ad in the Ottawa Citizen, addressed it to the Governor General, the head of the National Capital Commission, the mayors of Ottawa, Mayor of Gatineau, pleading with them to adopt our resolution. And bingo, out of that, Dr. Chris Manson said National Capital Commission would do that. And for us, that was a huge step forward because we looked upon Ottawa playing a leadership role in Canada for the rest of Canada, and the fact they were taking that stand was terrific. The National Capital Commission will plant only a native Canadian maple whenever a maple tree is called for. We thank Dr. Chris Manson for his understanding and support.
Hi, I'm Carl Mansfield, and I work with Ken Jewett and Maple Leaves Forever. And together we have helped people plant a lot of maple trees in southern Ontario. Part of our function is to provide people with answers to their questions and give them options as to where to go to buy truly native trees like that. We encourage people to find growers who do have native maples and to plant them wherever the native maple is a good choice for planting, okay?
My name is Rob Keane. I'm CEO of Forest Ontario and Director of Maple Leaves Forever, and we're very proud to be a partner with Maple Leaves Forever and to provide our support where we can to further their mission of planting native trees, and specifically native maple trees. Maple Leaves Forever shares a common vision with Forest Ontario, and that certainly is the use of native trees for our restoration programs, and certainly that aligns perfectly with Maple Leaves Forever's long-term vision. And so anytime we can get like-minded organizations working together, it just builds the collaboration and builds the overall impact of the vision.
A rural landowner who wants to plant native maples along their roadside or laneway goes to our website. He makes an application to a nursery, goes and buys the trees from the nursery, sends us his invoice. Then we send them a check for 25% of the cost of the trees. That money comes from me. To date, we've put $2 million into this program. We're not wild-eyed flag wavers. We're serious about this. Our website lists many nurseries that stock native Canadian maples. And Carl Mansfield, our Maple Leaf Forever's tree man, recognizes these nurseries as growers of native Canadian maples.
Maple Leaves Forever encourages rural landowners and municipalities to continue to plant native maples, with the sugar maple and native maples being some of the primary species in the woodlot. They make up a significant component of that.
It's really, really important that we promote and use native trees in our activities, and certainly our forest and tree planting activities. A lot of there's some organizations that are going to promote invasives and non-natives in their activities, and certainly if those species get into the natural ecosystem, they're going to have an impact on the natural species that are there. Huge domino effect to the flora and fauna as well. So, you know, the work that Maple Leafs Forever does in promoting native trees, and specifically native maple trees, is really, really important to ensuring the health and long-term health of our forests here in Ontario.
People interested in planting native Canadian maples should go to our website, mapleleafsforever.com, to get information on how to apply for a 25% rebate after the purchase of their trees. Maple Leafs Forever is an ardent supporter of the Ontario Envirothon. Our youth, their education, is our future. We're also a founding member of the Highway of Heroes Living Tribute and applaud the living legacy that will be created honoring Canada's fallen war heroes. This is Maple Leafs Forever's modest 2017 birthday present to Canada. We encourage all Canadians to plant a native Canadian maple to help Canada celebrate its 150th birthday.